And we're coming to you live from the Traveling Built Ford Tough Studios. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti, it's Boomer and Gio on the Fan, simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app, good Monday morning. We are at the Blue Wire Studios at Wynn Las Vegas. This place is almost too nice. I'm too comfortable in here. Generally, it's Radio Row. There's people milling around, and you're feeling uncomfortable, and it's loud, and it's open, and it's cold. This is the nicest road studio we have ever been to in CBS Sports Network right now, showing the sphere with the Super Bowl logo on it. And we had a tremendous trip out here, a nice first relaxing day, and we get here this morning in the Blue Wire Studios, and I see Boomer, and they're having a little bit of an issue with the sports minutes that got done. And then I look over in front of him, and I see that he's drinking a White Claw. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Hey, man, we're off to a rollicking start. What can I tell you?
Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, I'm
hammered.
You know what? I thought it was a Celsius when I came in here this morning. My sleep schedule's all whacked out, right? We're all whacked out because of our sleep schedule. And I get a lot of sleep last night, and I'm like coming down here. I see the 5-hour energy, great. I see the C4, great. Yep. And I said, okay, there's a Celsius. I'm going to have a Celsius. It turns out it's a White Claw.
You drank like half of it.
I was like, what? So all right. So I'm off to a good start. Now, that's all I can tell you.
Before we move on from this, just so you know, so I notice this, I see this, I pick it up that you've drank from it. So now I'm like, okay, when do I tell him? How do I tell him about this? I will say that Eddie was the only one who said, don't tell him, let him keep drinking them and see how far it goes. And then I'm thinking, no, I can't do that. You got too much stuff to do today.
Right. Today I got a long day today, Eddie. So it ends with an interview with Brock Purdy later on tonight.
That you had to cancel because you were crab-faced on White Claws. Of all things.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a hell of an interview, that's for sure. I mean, so I go from here, which is all great. I'm not saying anything. And by the way, is our group taken care of?
No, my goodness. I mean, I can't be more appreciative. This setup is as great as I've ever been a part of on the road, from the hotel to the travel to this studio. I mean, I like I said, I'm too comfortable. I am too comfortable in here. Sometimes you need a little bit of edge. You need to be uncomfortable to do the best job. Like I thought there was a dog that just walked in here. I swear to God, I thought there was a dog. It's just a guy on his hands, his knees.
That's Brian.
So no, this is great. This is awesome.
Yeah, I remember having conversations back in September about our particular setup because CBS has got a million things going on.
Yeah,
and that we. Is he going to do this the whole show? Is he just going to keep walking back and forth?
Morning exercise.
What he needs to understand is we don't even care if someone just goes in front of us. It's fine. It's like we're not like a serious show here.
We're radio people. We're not uptight TV.
Yeah,
people,
you're
right?
fine. Doesn't matter. Just do what you got to do.
So what was I talking about? I was just
talking about the CBS. Got a lot going on this week.
They got a lot going on. So I remember having conversations in September about us in particular, just us. Because we didn't make the PR release about about a show that was emanating from Las Vegas, because we're not over at the Bellagio Fountain.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Drew Barrymore is.
That's right.
That's where Monday QB is going to be. That's where Jim Rome is. Everybody got headlines, and Boomer and Gio got pushed to the side.
That is true.
But I have to say, nobody, and I mean nobody, maybe the Harbaugh family, I'm not sure, has it better than us out here. Where we're staying at the Wynn, the fact that this studio is right here in the Wynn.
Oh, my goodness.
So last year we were driving, if you remember.
I do remember, yeah. I mean, and it wasn't that long of a drive. It was probably 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I mean, this was what, 3 minutes from the elevator walking down here, if that?
It's great. I mean, they took really good care of us. I remember talking to Tyler early back in September, and he goes, oh, you guys, I think, are going to have a really good setup. I think you're going to be really happy about it. And when we got here yesterday, I immediately came to the studio just to see what it was looking like, and all the things that they had to go through to pull this off. I mean, it is as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. The one thing, and we see
and
this.
They got White Claw.
Right, White Claw at 3 o'clock in the morning out here. The one thing that is strange, and we do see it from time to time in New York City when we're driving in and these guys are driving in, where you get the people that are still out from the night before. You see that occasionally. Here, because of the time change, I mean, they are just everywhere. You come down, the blackjack tables, the roulette tables, the bars are still open. Everybody's hammered. And you're walking in here, and I'm saying good morning to people, like the security guard at the bottom of the elevator. I'm like, good morning. He looks at me. He's like, good morning. He's like, this is still the night before, man. So that's going to take a little bit of an adjustment. But yeah, this is tremendous. But the only thing, it rains like 6 days out of the year in Las Vegas, and the next 2 days are going to be straight rain.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different, but that's okay because, what else do we have to do?
The 49ers had an interesting time getting in here yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of weirdness already. So you got the 49ers and their travel. You got, of course, unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes Sr., with the DUI, which is not his first.
His third.
Yeah, so that's so some negative news, at least in the beginning. For
I feel, so part of me feels bad for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I mean.
Part of you. I feel terrible for him.
I feel that. I feel bad for that. I mean, I think his mom is the real rock of that whole thing. And, remember meeting her when he came in to see us, and he wasn't even promoting anything before the draft that year that he got drafted. And she was really on target. Like, she was the one that was running everything.
Yeah.
She seems to be the most stable in his life when you think about it.
I mean, I don't want to say that Brittany, his wife, is not stable. She's just annoying to most people. When the camera's on her and she's screaming, and then the Netflix quarterback series, she might be stable. She might be great support system for him, but she's just got a personality that most people don't like. But it's clear that his dad has had some issues, although he supports him and he's there all the time and he's watching the games and stuff. He just obviously is not making great decisions. And then the brother, who was just a straight up slime ball. So you have that. But hey,
somehow he's able to play quarterback all the way through it and play it great. And it'll be quite the matchup this week against the San Francisco 49er defense that was actually called out finally by their defensive coordinator, by their head coach, and by their GM for their loafing against the Lions. But they had been loafing not just in the Lion NFC Championship game, but the games before that, like leading into the playoffs. This wasn't the 49er defense that we expected to see. So that's going to be a whole storyline this week. And they're going to go right to Chase Young because he has been, the biggest violator of the lack of effort. And people today, I think, is probably is media day, I believe. So he is definitely going to have to answer a lot of tough questions about his performance and his lack of hustle on a number of plays. And fans, it's amazing because a lot of this comes to fruition on X or on Instagram, where fans will grab a screen grab or they'll grab a replay that a team is or that the broadcast is showing, and then the fan will comment on it.
Oh, yeah, and it'll be like a 15-second clip, which is really accessible and like the clips that we're so used to now because of our attention spans. We're not going to sit there and watch a 2.5-minute Chase Young highlight film. But if there's that one play where he's loafing around and it's 15 seconds, everybody sees it.
Yeah, I don't think there is a 2-minute highlight film.
Right.
I really don't.
Well, it could be a 2-minute low light film, rather.
Right.
But then everybody sees it and they're like, man, I mean, this guy's not even giving any effort. And as far as I know, he's healthy. I mean, it's not as if he's been dealing with some sort of injury and playing through it. He just looks like he didn't want to give any sort of effort in making a tackle on that, at least that one particular play with Jahmyr Gibbs in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to be a storyline this week, and then I'm sure, unfortunately, the last time two times that was down in Tampa. You had the Britt Reed situation, Andy Reid's son situation that kind of derailed the Chiefs. I don't necessarily know the Patrick Mahomes Sr. situation has the same impact. I'm sure it does for Patrick, but I don't necessarily know that it does on the team the way that the whole Britt Reed and how the Britt Reed how close to the game it happened.
Well, and also the injury to the young girl. I mean, that's a huge thing because as far as I know, it was Patrick Mahomes Sr. and that was it. No one else was involved. There wasn't a crash or anything like that. So that was a big deal, and they weren't sure if she was going to make it, and in the hospital. I mean, that's just as bad as it gets. So this is a distraction, sure, but it's early on in the week. It's something that Patrick has dealt with in his life before. Obviously, this is his dad's third DUI, but I mean, I can't imagine that when Patrick Mahomes takes that first snap, that is anywhere in his brain.
No, I don't think so either.
So
I wonder if his dad will be at the game. I'm assuming. I don't know. He may be in jail. Who knows? I don't think so. I think he'll probably be out until they have some sort of court situation. I don't know, but
he'll be there. I'm sure he'll be there.
I would think that the big story has to be. I mean, the big story right now this morning has to be your girl Dua Lipa last night at the Grammys.
Well, she opened it up. She was the opener.
Yes.
The Grammys decided if we're going to kick this thing off right, it's not going to be Taylor Swift, not going to be Miley Cyrus, it's going to be her. So I still haven't seen the whole thing. Jerry and I were actually on the 17th tee box while this was going on, and my phone was going crazy as she was opening up there we go. She was opening up the show.
Just think that
last
she
night.
could be in studio with you next week.
Next week?
Or 2 weeks. When is she coming to New York to promote an album?
Apparently this week.
And by the way,
yeah.
I mean, I got to say, I don't know if it's just me. I'm going to say this. I don't want to get anybody mad at me or anything like that.
Oh, God. You want to think you've had a White Claw, so just be careful.
All right. But, I mean, the Taylor Swift thing last night was just so off-putting.
What part of it?
The fact that she won, and you think, okay, get up there and say thank you to everybody. And I know she won a number. The one that I saw, I think it was Album of the Year. She got up there, and then she promoted her next album coming out on April 19th. And I'm like, what? I mean, nothing like Go Chiefs or any of that stuff. You thought maybe you'd get a little of that, but she must have morphed right back into Grammy person.
Yeah, I didn't see this speech. I'm going to watch it in the break. I generally try to avoid all things her at this stage because it's been
that this was her 13th Grammy. And
she did. She did like one of those Michael Jordan Hall of Fame speeches. Remember that Michael Jordan Hall of Fame speech where all he did was talk about how he was the greatest person on earth and didn't thank anybody else, and then was slamming all the people that doubted him, which was nobody.
Hey, listen, just like we would have slammed him back then, this is kind of like how I felt last night. It's really, I don't know, for somebody who's been on this Travis and Taylor thing for like the last since week 4 of the NFL season. I actually like it. And I like the fact that she's going to be a part of the Super Bowl, but that thing was a turnoff last night.
So she said nothing about Travis and then just promoted her album, huh?
She
must have thanked somebody.
The one area, she thanked her fans, of course. But
Mike Fliegelman out there, love you, Fleegs.
Yeah, love you, Fleegs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, it's just off-putting. I don't know why.
Wow.
And then I turned it off because I had to get to bed.
Wow.
Trying to get to bed.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so it was bad. If you thought it was off-putting because you're all over her, then it was probably off-putting to a lot of people.
I don't know. I don't know how her fans took it, but to tell us, oh, this is my 13th Grammy or whatever.
Yeah, and then
so great. Oh, I have something for a really surprise I want to tell you about. It's my new album coming out April 19th.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. I'm like,
well, that's like obviously people go nuts over her new stuff coming out because she's the biggest act in the world right now.
You think any of the new stuff involves Travis Kelce?
I mean, I'm sure it depends when she wrote it, but generally she gets her inspiration from when people dump her, right? Then she writes the song. So I don't know if things have been going good.
I mean, this could be like Happy Music album.
It could be. I mean, I suppose it could be, but yeah, I wonder if I were him, like all kidding aside, with all the stuff about, he's talking about her on the podcast and thank you. And I know that he was doing the hard he said to the fans and not to her bull crap. But if I were him, I'd be upset I didn't get a shout out last night. I would have been, especially Super Bowl week.
Yeah, and he just got here.
Super Bowl week.
He probably had a Grammy party with his teammates, I would imagine, right?
Well, just like she's watching all the Chiefs games that he couldn't be there. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she's like, if I can come back from Japan to make it to the Super Bowl, you could go to the Grammys on the Sunday a week before the game.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I don't think that Andy Reid and the guys would be all that. He did go to Argentina in the middle of the season.
That is true. That's got to be enough, right?
Right. I don't know. Look, all I know is every kiss begins with K. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see a K at the end of the game if they win the Super Bowl and a ring.
Oh, my God.
I'm so excited about it.
Do you think that Travis Kelce and his $100 million would go to K Jewelers?
Hey, if K Jewelers is going to pay these guys, yeah. You don't think that K Jewelers wouldn't pay them like for the post-game ceremony?
If they took an endorsement, those two, who are combined, they have to be combined. She's probably a billionaire alone, right?
She's $2 billion.
$2 billion alone.
She's made over $2 billion on the Eras tour alone.
Now, if she ended up taking an endorsement from K Jewelers for her own engagement, that is the most low-class thing I've ever heard of in my life.
The other thing, too, is I was thinking that because of all these stories coming out that she has raised the level of the NFL, like the NFL is going to be here after she's done. It was here before she got started.
I love this boomer heel turn on Taylor Swift. This is the greatest thing that ever happened.
You got to know that her people are in touch with the NFL. And her people are probably saying, if you want her at the game, you got to pay for the jet coming back from Tokyo. And she needs her own suite.
Wait, what?
And she needs her own suite.
What?
I'm telling
If
you,
she
man.
wants to be there, she could do it herself.
This
No,
is business, man. This is all about business. How many times are we, CBS, going to show her?
Oh yeah, I mean,
I know we're going to show an arrival shot.
she doesn't even like it though.
I mean, what's interesting is that if the NFL does pay for all this stuff, it could be like, okay, we'll take care of all of that, but we want to be able to shoot you as you get to the stadium. We want to be able to, whatever you would think.
Is this one of those boomer breadcrumb things because you've heard that this is actually what's going on, or is this just your guess?
I think it's my guess in this case.
All right.
I have a feeling that she is so powerful, so consuming, and the metrics show you how successful the NFL has been with her being a part of it. And they can break down what they believe is her financial impact on the NFL. And that number is close to $350 million in the short time she's been around.
How did they come up with that? I mean, that to me is like
impressions, followers, social media. It's everything.
Okay, but
she is beloved by her fans. And this is why I was a little disappointed last night. I mean, I really have taken a liking to her, but that speech last night was like tone deaf.
Yeah, no, now I have to watch it. I have to. I didn't see a lick of the Grammys last night. I just saw a part of the opening performance.
We have a tape of that somewhere. It was on CBS last night.
Yeah, Jerry, I know, has been going back and forth with a bunch of stuff this morning, so maybe he has it. But yeah, I mean, this is, she didn't get to where she's gotten without promoting herself, right? Can you really get on her for that?
I think she's at the point now where she doesn't have to promote herself. I mean, all she has to do is show up.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a big thing. You drop that on everybody at the Grammys, national
if you really
TV.
want to endear her to people that may not like her or may wonder about her music or whatever.
Especially football fans, yeah.
Exactly. You say, hey, thanks. I've enjoyed my time, being a part of the Chiefs' kingdom, that kind of thing. And
you know what you should have done? Be a free Patrick Mahomes Sr. No. That would have been a nice thing to say. I mean, that could be,
Yeah, I don't see that.
No. That would have endeared her to a lot of people, having the back of Pops in that spot. No.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a unique family dynamic.
It's Brittany Mahomes' father-in-law, and the two of them are best friends, right?
Right. And remember, he said, look, I was not in the suite with them in Buffalo.
That's
right.
He
was in a different suite.
Right. He probably wants no part of them.
You know what's amazing? What I don't remember, I've seen all these videos of all the players before the game having like a gaggle of people standing on the sideline. Wives, mothers, cousins, aunts, you name it. Like I was watching this, obviously getting ready for the Brock Purdy interview. I was watching before the Detroit Lion game. He's down there. He's hugging like 10 different people on the sideline.
Yeah.
I'm like, since when did players have family members on the sideline?
I feel like we've been seeing that for years.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just aware of it now. That never happened during our time.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I feel like we've been seeing that for the last at least 5 years.
So if you have 53 active players and they all want their family members on the sideline.
Not everybody. Not everybody. The people that are allowed to have their family members down there. If you're just a special teams, if you're a long snapper, your family is not even allowed at the game.
Like if you and I and our crew, had a game or something.
Sure.
I could certainly have my family on the sideline. You could have your family on the sideline.
Yeah.
But not so much for Al and Eddie and Jerry, right?
I don't know. I think maybe a guest. We could have multiple.
One guest, Al.
You get a guest.
One guest, Al. That's it.
Yeah. And Al having one guest. His Gina will be here tomorrow. Is that correct, Al?
Tomorrow evening.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So she'll be rolling in. The two of them are going to have a great time together, doing all the cool Super Bowl stuff that they.
Cal's going to bed at 6 o'clock.
Correct.
What time did you get to bed last night?
That's a good question. I'm still kind of confused about timing right now.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I slept 5 hours.
We had an early dinner.
Well,
it was 4:30.
Yes, but that's 7:30 our time.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't get a dinner at 2:30. I'm sorry. We had a 4:30 dinner, which has been, kind of something that we've always done night one, right?
Correct.
And it was a nice dinner.
Yes, it was.
And got you out of there early so you could get to bed. I was worried about you.
Yes, we did.
Because you were hammered yesterday.
I was.
You were walking around once we got off the plane. you were wobbling, and you don't wobble much, but
No.
when you do wobble, you kind of lean like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, I did all right though. I drank so much water from the moment I landed in Las Vegas. So I had nothing but water from then on out. Water and coffee. So I did good. I think I'm all right.
And you feel okay this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sluggish at all? Okay?
I mean, no more than
Normal.
yeah.
Yeah, I think 8:30 is the cutoff. That's the latest, I think, because I'm also getting up later than these guys are.
Yeah.
But 8:30 is the bedtime. If you're up past 8:30, that's a problem. That's what I think. But 8:30 is the latest, the all-time latest. But these guys, 6 o'clock is what you're shooting for?
Yeah, I mean, my alarm went off at 12:30. So
I'll tell you what, Gina's going to have a great time with you going to bed
Listen,
at 6 o'clock.
I warned her. No one ever wants to listen to me, but
All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network, live from the Blue Wire Studios at Wynn, Las Vegas for Super Bowl week. Super Bowl 58, just 6 days